Hi everyone and welcome back to the Clever Report. It's just really Peter Clever. Today we're going to talk about a sensitive topic. I'm trying so hard to keep it PG so that the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube channel will not be blocked because YouTube is kind of a home of censorship in this day and age. Now we're talking about the immigration problem in Europe. There is a movie, Citizen Vigilante, that is resonating with everybody. It's not even about being European or white. It's resonating with everybody that has common sense in the world. There's a reason why the movie is number one on Apple TV and number one on Amazon Prime. It is not a coincidence. It doesn't mean that everybody, all of a sudden, almost everybody in the world that is resonating with this movie, all of a sudden racist. It addresses the issue of migration and the issue of these European leaders. They don't like the native population anymore. They import third world migrants into their country. And these people, they don't want to assimilate into the culture. There's a big difference between, you know, illegal migration and migration or migrating on the right basis, whereby when you migrate, you assimilate into the culture. Because if your culture was better, if your country was better, you won't go to that place. But the problem is that these migrants, or sometimes these illegal migrants, they go to these European countries and they want to impose their own ideology to the native population. And most of the times, their own ideology is not compatible with the native population's way of life. It is crazy. So now, the movie has gotten widespread criticism and upload, especially from the right wing, because it addresses the right wing issues of illegal migration or checked migration. But some left wing activists or people on the left are calling it a racist movie that has stereotyped the Muslim population in the country. Now, personally, I think the movie is great. Maybe it is not great cinematically, but the message the movie is passing is great because people are tired. People are tired of being called racist because they don't want to be replaced by third world country people in their own nation. So the European authorities, it seems that they have white guilt and they don't like the native population, whereby these migrants commit these crimes, especially violent crimes against women and children. But the justice system protects them and even cause the victims wrong, cause the victims the evil word, cause them racist for actually complaining of what is happening. Now the plot of the movie is about Michael Sanders, a former US military man that inherits a real estate business from his estranged father in this fictional unnamed European country. Now the movie starts with a scene of a young boy and a mother shopping at a grocery store, and when they came out, they were just walking, giggling, and being happy. This young black, you know, male migrant just walked past and stabbed the woman on the neck. And the child, the son, who is bearing the sight of watching his mother bleed away and being helpless about it. Unsurprisingly, unsurprisingly, this migrant that committed this heinous crime was not, faced with justice. The justice system protected him. So here comes Michael Sanders, that was played by Emmy Hammer in this movie. He came and saw the widespread crimes that is happening in this country that is wants to establish his business and everything, and he says no. Since the government is not ready to protect the citizens, the government is not ready to address these issues, he took it upon himself to give justice to these victims. He went to visit the at the hospital a victim of rape, you know, and asked the person, do you want justice? Or do you want to pursue it through the legal justice system that is not guaranteed on giving you justice? The girl actually told him that he wants justice, she wants justice by all means, and he went out and got justice for her. Yes, we're not preaching that people should take matters into their hands, but this is where the European country is tilting to if care is not taken, if the leaders are not ready to address these issues. The problem is something in a place like UK, the United Kingdom criminalizes speech. When you complain about the migrant issue, we saw what happened in Belfast, where a migrant was almost beheaded, a native of Ireland. And when the people started revolting, the UK police and everything came down on them because these are the issues. We hear reports after reports of people, migrants committing these violent crimes and the justice system protecting them. Now, the second clip, the most viral clip, is where he went to a home of one of the seven boys that gang raped a young girl, a young European girl, white girl specifically. And then he went, took the family hostage, and then made the guy to call all the perpetrators, his co-perpetrators, 7 of them. And the problem is that before I actually went to this guy's house, he went to the girl and the dad's house and asked them, sought their permission to, bring justice to the girl and to give them closure about what happened. The problem is that you see on that video, this girl was dragged. She was dragged by 7 Muslim boys, young boys, and then raped in a park. That is the problem. And the mother of one of the boys went on social media and blamed the victim, said that it was the way she was dressing, and the father was, making excuses for him, including the daughter too. So that is the most like talked about scene in the movie, where the citizen vigilante shot all of them point blank dead, and he didn't have any remorse about it because in his mind he was giving justice to the girl.
Who avoided prison sentences are now dead, including the entire family of Yusuf el-Shira, who resided there. It appears the vigilante citizen has struck again. This raises pressing questions. What possesses the greater threat to society? The criminals committing these heinous acts, or the vigilante who is eliminating them? According to Europe's criminal statistics, over 105,000 violent crimes were attributed to migrants last year, including 980 murders and over 18,000 reported cases of sexual assault involving immigrants from Africa. What does this mean for our legal system? Is this vigilante only stepping in because our system has failed to ensure safety and justice for the public? Stay safe out there, and thank you for watching World News.
Yes, now some European countries, Germany is a very, very spineless country. They banned this movie and some other European countries. And I'm so happy. The movie was, it wasn't even larger than $2 million, the budget of the movie. But what made it more viral was Elon Musk, posting it for free on his X page, allowing people to see it and, discuss it in the free marketplace of ideas. And now the movie talks to in the movie to the judge that lets these 7 young Muslim boys, they let them free, this citizens vigilante, before he even went to the house of these young boys to actually unalive them. He went to the house of, kidnapped the judge, and then unalived him and made it look like a suicide. But before he kidnapped him, he made him watch the news story of him giving excuses. According to the judge, the girl is not only the victim in this heinous crime, the boys are victims too, because they are not emotionally stable to understand the new environment, and the new environment is hard for them to assimilate. It is bonkers. It is bonkers in any rational thinking person. See what that judge said. So the citizen vigilante unalived him. Yes, the problem is that people are fed up. That is the real truth. People are fed up. There is a reason why the movie is resonating with everybody. The authorities are fighting so hard. They are fighting so hard for the movie to, be censored. And the problem is, the more you try to censor this kind of movie, the more people will look for it and watch it, and the more extreme people go. Yes, I'm not a fan of taking laws into your hand, but you don't blame the average citizen in these countries when the government is not ready to protect them, when the justice system is not ready to protect them. The justice system is built to, to oppress them basically. It's built to protect these migrants. It's crazy, being a native of a European country where your ancestors bled and fought for the freedom and built the place from the scratch. And then a third world migrant comes to violate your children. How will you feel if you are one of them? So now, this conversation is very, very hot everywhere in social media. People are calling it out. Some people don't agree with it. Some people say it is racist and it's stereotyping Muslims.
To say their religion teaches this sort of behavior. And this is, of course, where the objectively, blatantly racist propaganda enters. Because Islam does not teach criminality. Muslims are all for criminals facing justice. But this movie clearly wants you to think Muslims and immigrants are just they're completely backwards people. They're criminals, and the only way for them to face justice is for you to apparently go into their home with a gun like this guy. And this is what Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is promoting.
But There's a reason why stereotypes exist. Stereotypes exist because of reputations and patterns. Are all Muslim young Muslim boys doing this kind of thing? No. But there is when this kind of things happen, 70% of the time they are either immigrants, they are either black or they are Muslims. It is crazy. We've seen the Pakistani grape gang in the United Kingdom that was systematically covered by the authorities. So if the Europe has a problem on its hands currently, because if they don't want justice for their people, then we are not ready to protect the native population. Even protecting the native population includes protecting the migrants too, because some of them can still be victims of these violent crimes. But if they are not ready to listen to what the native population is saying, if they are not ready to come to a compromise and say, no, we have to enforce the laws. Anybody that commits these heinous crimes should not be, acquitted in court or should not be given a slap on the wrist. Then I fear that this citizen vigilante omen is going to be a reality in these most European countries. It's not what I want. It's not what most of the native populations want. But when their back is against the wall, they don't have any other choice but to take laws into their hands. So instead of trying to, you know, censor this movie, they need to address what is happening. They need to address the grievances of the native population of these European countries. And that is just it's either they address the the the, the issues or the risk having a citizen vigilante. We can see in Mexico already somebody taking laws into his hands and duct taping motorcycle tips everywhere in Mexico. It's crazy. This is what is going to happen in Europe if they don't take time, if they don't address these issues, and if they don't have remove this idea of white guilt and making all the native populations look bad or thinking that everything their ancestors did is somehow racist and backward. And that is all I'm going to say about that. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notification. Give me your take in the comment section. I might be wrong in my own analysis, but this is what I genuinely think. Until next time, I love you, but God loves you more. Peace.